Worldwide Slot Car Chat on Zoom. I'm Greg Gow. The gang's all here with Jeremy and Garth and Luff and Mike and Dewan and Lenny and Alan, or Alan and Lenny and and John and John. Oh, you guys are all in a row. John, and Wayne and Courtney and Phil and all the other people and non-Johns and people who don't want to have their camera turned on. Yeah, Chris isn't here yet, but I'm sure he'll be later. Anyway, just one offhand reminder to anybody watching, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, these guys never talk about what I'm interested in, come on the show. Join the Zoom. Talk about what you want to talk about. Ask about what you want to ask about. This is a community-driven show. This is a participation-driven thing that we do. I keep saying show because everybody else calls it a show. We're just chatting about slot cars of all kinds. So if it's got to do with slot cars, it's good. As per usual, we start off with show and tell. Does anybody out there have a show and or tell? Go ahead, Mike.
Well, there's been a little bit of talk about these. It's the new Revo Slot Mazda RX-7. It's really, really well done. It's got the chassis from the Group 2 cars, and it goes, initially at least, I haven't done any tuning on it especially, about the same as the Alpha Group 2. Within a tenth of that, maybe a little bit faster. But I have very little time on it, so I can't say for sure. But it's a standard Revo slot, but it's very, very nicely done. Finish is flawless. The only thing I noticed that's different is the rear wheels, if you look at them, are larger than the Group 2 normally wheels. The front wheels are the same Group 2 wheels.
Yeah, I think the rears are wider too, aren't they, Mike?
No, not really. Let me grab the Alpha.
Are those rear wheels the same as their other GT cars that they have? Like the GT?
No, they are not.
They're a brand new wheel?
Yep.
Joy. Another tire.
Yeah, I know. Oh, great. Now I got to wait for tires for that.
Yeah, they're the center ribbed wheels. So, yeah, they are wider. I can tell. 10 millimeter wide as opposed to 8.5.
Do you have the Porsche?
Wider. About the same weight as usual, and same motor. You can see the same motor is in there. Was very much round gear, which is not always usual. Set properly. Ran pretty quiet and pretty smooth. It's got the Group 2 style split rear front wheels on it. You can't see that especially, but yeah, it's a really nice. It's got a flooded cockpit as per normal. Nicely finished interior, Lexan, of course, with a plastic driver. Nice little mesh on the side, on the inside.
Do you have the Porsche 934 Revo slot?
Not yet. That should be coming. I got a notice from LEB. I decided to wait and see on the class and see how they ran. But the Mazda was different enough that I was like, oh, I suppose I could get one of those and I'd be okay with it. But I am going to get the Porsche. I got a notice from LEB about I've got the Acura ARX 6, I think, coming in.
I just asked because I think that has the same chassis as well, the Group 2 chassis under and the same gearing. I'm just wondering if the rear wheels are the same for the Porsche as well.
More than likely.
More than likely, because they were quite big on the OEM car, weren't they?
Yeah.
The full-size car. Were they bigger than the fronts on the full-size car? I think they were. You would know, Mike.
Yeah, they were. You know, I lost my Oh, there it is.
They
Looking
did
at
that.
the
They
wheels
did
on
that.
this, checking
Sorry,
this,
Mike. They did that car in three different liveries with actually three different body shells as well. I
which
think.
the Porsche.
No, sorry, the RX-7. I think they've.
Yeah, there's three different. There's two liveries for this model. This and an orange stripes the same, but orange. And the third one has a different wheel well situation. These are the riveted on wheel well extensions, and the other ones are sort of molded and kind of elliptical. I don't know if you've seen them or not, but they're more rounded in and not the bolt-on style that these are. So
Hey,
it was a later model, I believe. So they have two body styles already, and they have three more coming out soon.
if you get bored, I wonder if the Alpha rear wheels would fit on that car, how bad it would look, and then how, if it would have clearance, but also if the inserts would fit. Like if you wanted to make the class even to run with Group 2 stuff, if the wheels were the same, nobody would go, "Oh my God." But if the wheels are a larger diameter, then they're going to complain that they shouldn't run together.
Yeah, the wheels are a larger diameter than
Right.
the
That's why I'm
group.
just wondering if you could swap those, if it would look okay or look stupid.
Well, actually,
Don't worry about it, but
no, the front outside diameter of the wheel I have is 12.38 millimeters, whereas the Alpha is 11.3. So they're a millimeter larger in the front.
That's the wheel.
That's the wheel, yes. And 13.47 on the rear. So they're staggered sizes, and they're both bigger than the Group 2s, at least on the Alpha.
that seems like a horrible decision on their part.
I don't know. I
Like,
think they're starting a new class.
Why, Jeremy?
because you could have had them incorporated with the others and people wouldn't have complained. But now, because the years are the same, you've got like a what, 70, what is that, a 74 Mazda?
Yeah,
75?
I believe it is.
But the Opel Cadet's an 81. So there's no problem with years there, because you're racing similar stuff.
Yeah.
But when you start using different wheels, then you have to start making rules for different wheels. And then the club has to go, okay, well, this is different. We got to regulate this. You can't just throw it on the track and say everybody's got the same starting equipment. So I I, I think they did themselves a disservice because earlier in their history, they were all about this is the chassis we're going to use. It's very similar, the same wheels, the same gears, and it was just like a big production line. And that's kind of what made me go, okay, well, I guess Revo Slot won't be that bad, even though I didn't like the cars. It was like because all the parts are the same. You buy two cars, one runs better, you can swap the parts out if you want and go, okay, now well, this one runs better, whatever. But now it's a third class, and there's only two of them. I don't know, it just seems weird to me. Like, well, you've already got two classes. Uh-oh, Courtney.
One of those hierarchy scales for it, Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm going to do a hierarchy scale for people who interrupt me with stupid questions. Guess who's going to the top of that list?
That maybe we do a hierarchy scale for the most annoying members of that day.
Nobody wants to be on that list.
I seem to live at the top of it. I don't care about the list. I know where I belong.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Do you have any more? Sorry, Greg, I don't mean to take over, but you were coughing. You want to interrupt?
Well, Jeremy,
No.
you're coming at that viewpoint from specifically from a racing point of view, and
Correct.
in reality, I think that the truth lies more along the lines of it's a replica of the one-to-one car, and with the larger wheels on, it's a more true representation of the real car.
But I understand that, but are they selling to collectors? Or are they selling to racers? Because it's RevoSlot's not really a Christmas brand you're going to buy. So they're trying to sell to us, I would think, the people who are going to buy these, add these into a club and race them. I mean, if they want to start a third class, that's fine. But if the wheel had been a little smaller with bigger rubber, I'd have still bought it. Like it wouldn't have thrown me off.
While I do agree with you, just imagine what kind of drubbing it would get in the forums and even amongst some of us with the true to reality, or let's call them the rivet counters. It would be a dire situation if they'd put the same wheels on all of that
But
Group 2 and that
like you think about
RX-7.
NSR. NSR
But
gets a ton of that.
but
You know,
if
they get
that
the rivet
Mazda,
counters hate NSR, but we all love them. So I don't know who
no,
you
if
please
that
in that
Mazda,
situation.
if that Mazda fits in with a Porsche, though, isn't that the start of another class?
Well,
Maybe.
Yeah.
in reality, yeah, in reality, it has already got a running mate because there is another Mazda and it's a different body shell.
Yeah, and the Porsche sounds like it's going to fit into that class as well.
Yeah,
It does.
I agree.
It
The
I
does.
think they're starting a new
original-
class. They'll probably have something else in
And
the
there may be,
GTU
maybe others
category.
coming.
Yeah,
the original Porsche release, what was that, 911 something? 911 GT3? The very first Revo slot car was a Porsche.
GT2,
yes.
911
And
GT2.
it also had narrow wheels.
Yep.
I'm curious if those wheels are more comparable to the Mazda wheels.
No,
No.
no. I have
Yeah.
one of those GT2s. I'll measure it right now if you like.
That
Yeah.
that Mazda
That-
is a model of IMSA GTU car racer. I think Porsche. There were some Porsche 924s and maybe 944s that
Oh, I wish.
in that class. I think there were. I mean, you know, if they're going to do that kind of pigeonhole the historic classes that they're going to race in or meant to race in with or whatever,
I think
Yeah,
maybe they'll do that.
the diameter of the Porsche GT2 is 16.38
without the rubber, you're just talking about the diameter.
without the rubber, just the wheel.
Okay.
Without the rubber.
And then you said the Mazda was 12.8 or something.
12.37, 12.4,
Something. Yeah.
So the rear ones are 13.4
13.4.
and the front ones are 12.34. So, you know,
So I
they're in the same.
Yeah.
So,
No.
That's my only thought here is that if they'd have used the same wheels as the Group 2, you could have incorporated them into like a giant, you know, bigger Group 2 race. And if you still wanted to race just the Porsches and the Mazdas, you could have made your own group, whatever it is, for that, if you really wanted. But now you've pigeonholed it and that's its own class. There's no, I mean, you have to make concessions to get it to run with the Group 2s, or you're not going to go the other way. You're not going to, it seems weird to limit themselves, even if they are making a new class. It doesn't make sense to me, but I've been wrong before, and I only make tens of dollars in this hobby. I don't make their amounts of money, so they must know what they're doing.
I'm sure they're fine making a new class. You know, I'm sure they have plans for other cars that'll go in with the Mazda, assuming the new Porsche is not in the same class. I don't know.
Mike, is the Porsche GT2 rear tires, are they wide or are they 8.5 like the
no, they're 12, 10 or 12, 11, I think.
Is that a more recent one? Because their very first ones had
They're the,
narrow.
well, mine has been converted to the latest
Okay, well there you
wheel
go.
that's there. So
I can go get
the,
mine. I know it's
tire,
first
the tire
batch.
width is 11 and a half
You
millimeters.
see, if it replicated the real Porsche GT2 in any way, it would have hugely wide rear tires, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you look at the difference.
You're rivet counting us.
That's true. You mean, wait a minute, I've got the Scalextrix one. I'll show you what.
Oh yeah.
Those
Are you
gonna be
talking about the
wild.
mid-80s one?
Yeah.
The
That
mid-80s one.
turbo.
Oh man. Yeah, I played with those as a child myself. And they are huge tires. And that Porsche chassis is notorious for braking on that Scalextric 80s. It brakes across the crown gear because the rear tires are so damn wide. Oh,
Yeah.
not that one. Not that one. It's not the mid. That's not the mid-80s.
That looks like a 935.
These are 12.8. Yeah, it's a 935.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a new one.
that's a newer one. Yeah.
Yeah, newer. Yeah.
Yeah.
The real car,
Wayne's talking about the Tupperware bodied one.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Tupperware bodies.
the real cars had a turbocharger that was almost as big as the wheels. Gigantic turbocharger, huge thing. And it was red most of the time, spouting flame.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
Are we done talking about the Mazda?
No, because the Porsche 934 did not race against the Mazda RX-7 in the 70s. I'm
That's
trying to
true.
figure
but
out where did it race together? Why, if they were making a class, they should have had cars that race together.
John D on the YouTube started off with, it's pretty sure the RX-7 first raced as GTU IMSA class in 79, but most raced mid 80s. But I thought the other Group 2 cars were more mid 70s and earlier. The Mazda RX-7 dominated the GTU class until 1989, often beating Porsche 934 cars from the next class up. And the GT2 is a 90s car. So
The
there you
RX-7
go.
was a Group 4 car,
I think
or the Porsche was a Group 4 car.
the Mazda was dominating until Chevrolet Beretta came along, ICI Berettas. Tommy Kendall drove one of them. I don't know who else drove them, but
well, that was a silhouette
huge,
car, though, wasn't it?
huge money, big money. I think the rules had changed enough
Yeah.
So
were able to, you know,
they overlapped in racing briefly in 1979 and possibly 80 at events like Le Mans. So it would have been like mixed classes, you know, Group 2, 3, whatever.
yeah.
So it just seems like a weird class. If they're going to make this a class, why pick those two?
Well, it strikes me, Jeremy, as they've already done some cars from the 90s. They've done some cars from the 70s now, and this RX-7 might very well be the slipping it in between middle of the 80s. Could be at the beginning of an additional range.
Yeah, I suspect that's what it is.
Sounds like it.
A range of just Mazda RX-7s.
Well, for now, anyway. Yeah.
For now, yeah. All right, let's move on. We can come back to that later if necessary. What you got, Mr. Weber?
I have a couple of things picked up on eBay that are sort of, I guess at this point, aspirational to become slot cars. It's a 1/32 scale Bugatti. Which one is this?
Like the red one.
Yeah, it's a Type
Like-
9, I think, with fenders. It's
John, is that the Pyro kit
yes,
or Airfix?
Pyro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was partially. This one was partially assembled, but it's complete. And then also have an unboxing to do here, which was part of the same deal. It's a little too bright, isn't it? Okay, so this.
That's the Airfix. Yeah.
The Airfix Type 35B, which has the really cool alloy spoke wheels, which I haven't seen on any other kit or model, and it's never been opened.
I think it might also come with a driver, John, if I remember correctly.
Copyright.
I know the Alpha did. I think the Bugatti did as well.
Copyright's 1988, and it was made by Heller actually, and sold by Airfix. See if I can get it open without.
You do realise we're watching John halve the value of the kit right now.
He didn't buy it
the collector's
on
go.
the shelf. He bought it to open it up.
It won't take 56 minutes.
Good line.
So, at least I don't think it will.
Hey, look, yeah, it's looking like it might.
The clock is ticking.
It always sticking. Let's see. This is a special edition. Hello. Yeah, here's a driver figure. And it's a little bit larger than the other model, apparently.
Hold him up a bit.
I want to see those wheels. Lots of little pieces, man. And there are the spoke wheels. Those are good.
Yeah, that's actually I've got one. That's actually a nice. It'll make a nice slot car, John.
I think it will too. At least I hope so. And that's kind of the direction I find myself going in because, you know, the pace that these great slot car companies are coming out with great slot cars, but they're relatively inexpensive for retired folks, and some of us anyway. So I'm gonna try going this direction and scratch building a brass chassis and putting the thing together like that. But that's all I have.
Cool. Looking forward to more brass chassis from you then.
I hope so. Thanks.
All right, the other John, Mr. Kidd, go ahead.
Well, there was a model car and slot car show this Saturday. I missed it though because I had other commitments. Actually, I was playing hockey. So, listen, I'll tell you, what's worse, getting slapped by slot car geeks or beaten up by actual hockey players? Sorry. So I thought I would show, but I took a little trip to my local hobby shop today and actually found something, and they said that they missed me because they usually have a booth there, but they saved something for me, and I did end up purchasing it, even though I have one already, of course. But I thought I'd show you folks, and this is a show and tell and ask. So you guys are familiar with this car, right? The
Yep. Shepherd.
yeah, and yep, and this is the MRRC, which is it's the nicer version of the 2F.
Ooh.
And
Yeah, it's a lot smaller.
Well, it's actually to scale. How about, like, what a concept, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it has
Do you have
I love the wheels.
do you have the slotted 2F?
No, I don't. No. You know what? I made a mistake and got the slotted 2E and was really disappointed with it because it's way too big. So no, I'm afraid not. But unfortunately, the wing was sort of unattached, which is kind of nice because then I can just attach it in some way, shape, or form. But here's the really interesting thing: is it has the Sebring chassis, and it looks like somebody chipped it.
Yep, sure enough.
That looks
But I
like a
don't know.
lighting chip.
Sorry, say again.
Could be
That
light.
look, it could be a lighting chip. It's very unlikely to be a lane changing chip in that orientation.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Yeah, that's
No.
what I don't. Go ahead, sorry.
It could be a Scalextric chip.
It does look like
The-
a Scalextric F1 solder-in chip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will it work that way?
If you look above in front of the motor, there's the LED right there.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, right here.
You drilled it right through the
Okay.
Yeah, remotely mounted the LED. Okay.
That's this
That's
chip
how
if somebody wants to see it.
Yeah, that's how that chip
Oh,
is.
My room in the chassis.
The LEDs on wires on that chip.
Right. So my question, twofold. I mean, all I have to do, I guess, is just disconnect it and remove it, right? Because I have an analog track.
Yeah. It'll work on analog. It just won't have any brakes.
Oh, okay. So I'll remove it. And then the second question is, I didn't know if anybody was interested in the chip.
Me,
Who, me?
Mike.
Me. Mike. Okay, Mike. All right. So I'll put that in the pile as soon as the labor
Soon as the
dispute is
post will
over.
get fixed.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Mike, you can use that?
Yeah. Yeah, I use those in my F1 cars, the Polycar F1s, the 80s cars, and also in some of the smaller cars that I've got.
Now I'm assuming it works. So forgive me.
Yeah,
If
well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's one of those things you can't know until you try.
sounds like my dates in high
You
school.
you don't have any ability to test it, so
I don't. I'm
And
sorry.
even if it works on analog, it won't necessarily work on digital.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my next question. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Okay, cool. But I couldn't pass it up, and Oh, anybody want to guess the price? Anybody? Anybody?
$5.
No.
Canadian.
Yeah, in
Oh,
Canadian.
sorry.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, that's
$10.
US. Sorry, US, you're right. But what was it in Canadian? Yeah.
10.
No, actually, it was
$10.50.
no, it was 30 Canadian, which is pretty reasonable.
I was gonna guess 25, but
This is good condition though.
Yeah. And it's really funny because they had the Scalextrics beside and he said, I know you like chaparrals. Which one do you want? And I said, oh, the MRC. It really is a nicer model. Yeah. And the Sebring chassis is actually not that bad.
Mm,
Sorry. Yeah, well, it doesn't have to go a million miles an hour, folks. It's
no,
just,
no, it doesn't. But it is a fairly the Can-Am cars are supposed to be pretty quick, and that one, if it's with its peers, it might be okay. As far as the chassis goes, but it's really tough to make it go as well as like Thunder Slots or something like that.
which are oversized, and yeah, sure.
Yeah, agreed. They are.
Yeah, you would definitely not race that chassis against anything other than other cars with that chassis.
Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah, exactly. Like the Monogram Cooper, the Cooper Ford, for example. And Monogram also used it on the Chaparral as well. The two. Yeah. So, all right, that's it. That's it for me.
with the Revell versions of, T70s, Lola T70s and McLaren M6A,
Yeah.
those would be right in that same
Size range.
Well, but those are sidewinders, aren't they?
maybe.
Yeah.
How
They're
about
with
angle
it.
winders?
Yeah, right. Angle winders with an S can, right? Yeah. Oh, Chris is here. I was just saying, sorry, Chris. I don't know if you were at the show on Saturday, but I missed it, I'm afraid. Were you there?
I was supposed to do a seminar, but I had the option of going golfing on a nice day, and I chose to go golfing.
I was. See, you were outside. I was inside. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Cool. But I just
apparently it was. I talked to a few people who were there. I was up at the shop today, and there was a few guys who were at the show, and they said it was quite good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Did anybody get any? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, not really. I mean, no. I mean, I know a few guys who got some stuff that I've read online and had emails from and stuff like that, but it was basically the same vendors that you would find at the Etobicoke show, the Horner show in the fall. So, another good show. It's always good to have a show and get people out, and you never know what you find.
For sure. Yeah. No, I was at Panther today, and they saved a couple of cars for me that I guess they got from a collection, and so that's where that 2F came from. Yeah.
Well,
All right. Thank you, John. Go ahead, Alan.
Oh, okay. On the weekend we had a swapmate slot car fair at War Model Raceway. They run one every 2 years, and I'm wandering around. There wasn't much for me. There's a lot of old Scalextric stuff, but I stumbled on a couple of things, so I thought I'd grab them. So got one of those. The McLaren F1 GDR and the release, or whatever you want to call it, public announcement livery. I had one of these when they first come out, but it got raced and it's looking very tired now, so I thought I'd get another one to put on the shelf. One of my favourite cars ever. And being a Thunderbird's tragic, I had to get this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
So it's had a couple of parade runs on the track on Tuesday night with the boys just to show it off, and once you started pushing it, it started tripping over the front wheel, so it handled exactly how you expect for something like that. So it's now back in the box and back on the shelf. So,
yeah.
But that
I
looks
missed
like
out on the original.
I was going to say, Lenny, that looks really big. I haven't seen one live yet.
Well, they're huge.
Really big.
The good news, John, is your chaparral will kick the crap out of
It
that.
says 30, it says 32nd scale, but you know,
It's
there it
bigger
is
than a
alongside an
124
NSR.
scale.
Oh my gosh, that's almost
There it is
124.
alongside an NSR GTR. I don't know how I can
Yeah,
do
it's
this.
bigger than a 124. I have it.
Yeah,
Wow.
but it says it's 132, so it makes you wonder how big the real life car, so to speak,
Yeah.
supposed to look. I missed out on the original Dinky one when I was a kid, and I missed out when these came out. But one of the local sellers had one on his table, so I thought I might grab that, and he very politely knocked $20 off it, so I got that for $60 Australian. So I was quite happy with that. But yeah, it was wasn't as successful as the one previously in the year, but as far as people go, numbers go, but some of the stock wasn't great either. It was a lot of old Scalextric stuff, but there was lots of 60s stuff there as well if you're into that. So some Formula Juniors and stuff, and yeah, and something like scenery, but no good with chicane for the real collectors. But anyway, yeah. So that's it for me for show and tell.
All righty. Thank you, sir. Anybody else? All right. Moving on to the club corner. If you got racing you want to talk about, Lenny, you want to talk about racing? Go ahead.
Yep. Okay, I'll just get a share going. Okay, so this weekend we've got the Australian NSR Championships running up at the War Slot Car Raceway. They've been very busy in the last couple of weeks. So they're running classics, modern GT. They're calling it rally car, so it's Fiat Abarths and Renault Clios and that sort of stuff. I'm not running in that one. 86 to 88s, Moslers, and the 2022 to 2026 F1 cars. So just have to move that out of the way.
That's a lot of classes.
Yeah, there's 5 classes over the weekend. Yeah, they'll all be squeezed through in 2 days. But preparations actually started. That started last night. They're running handout wheels and tyres. It was meant to be already assembled, but it didn't happen that way. So we're all busily putting tyres together and prepping them up. There's no chemical allowed, so you're only allowed to sort of water treat them. So polishing them up on some 1200. So that's one of the tracks we'll be racing on. That's the old War track, which stands for West Adelaide Raceways. But they'll be running the Moslers, the Classic Sports, and the Formula 2022, 26 cars on that one. Very fast. You've really got to pay attention to what's going on ahead of you. Otherwise, it becomes a bit of a crash fest. And then the rally cars will be on this horror. This is probably my least favourite track anywhere, especially due to this corner and this corner. So the rally cars are on that. I'm not running in that class, so I'll be having a bit of a snooze or helping with the marshalling. Depends what the numbers are like. And then, the War track will be on Saturday, and on Sundays it's this track for the rally cars. And then that's what we call the Brabham track. It's all covered in memorabilia now, so it's got Brabham memorabilia hanging all off the sides of it. So that'll be for the I've got the Formula 1 cars around the wrong way. The 86 to 88s are on the other track. Formula 22, 26s are on here, along with the modern GT. So this is a good little track, good one to race on.
All those tracks under the same roof, Lenny?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, there's 8 tracks in there at the moment. It's a big industrial unit. It's actually 2 industrial units with the wall knocked out.
Okay.
And so the father and son took it over about 12 months ago, and they've really gone on with it. And it'll be live streamed on YouTube on Saturday and Sunday from 10 o'clock. Or was it 10:30? Let me refer to my notes.
Are most of the guys running the BRMs or the MJKs?
No, they're on a slot super grip control tire.
Oh, okay.
So when you paid your entry, when you arrive and register for the event, they give you 5 rims and 5 tires, 5 sets of tires, and away you go and glue them up and true them up.
Yeah.
And then when you're ready, you hand them into Parc Ferme every night. So you can run them during the day, and then when you go home, you just hand them into Mike, the guy that's running the show, and he'll put them in a box somewhere and get them out when you come back. So there's no chance to do any, or reduced chance of doing any chemical treatment with them. So the idea is to try and everybody's supposed to be on the same tire. But as I said, it's going to be on YouTube on Saturday and Sunday, starting fairly early Adelaide time. Where's me? So 10 a.m. Saturday and 10 a.m. Sunday. That's in Australian Central Time. Apparently, that's 8:30 p.m. New York time.
Yeah.
I'm told. So I don't know what it is for the West Coast and for the UK. It's not about 9.5 hours for the UK, I think. So if you want to watch it, Wayne. So
overnight job.
yeah, it's just like us with Grand Prix, mate. So
Yeah.
But so it should be a good event. It's mainly local guys running. We didn't seem to attract too many interstaters, but I know there's one came in yesterday. Eric, I think his name is. He's from New South Wales, I think, from Sydney. So, the level of competition is pretty high over here. So, I'm not expecting to feature too high in the results, but got a few younger blokes that are doing really well these days. So we'll look forward to seeing how that goes. So, and apparently I'm in line for an interview. So, so if you want to see me make a bigger fool of myself, you can watch that. All right, that's it for me, I think. So I'll get out your way.
All right, Mike.
Thank you. I'll blow my hand. Was it?
Okay, so it was just Shiggy and I again. Joel had other stuff that he was doing, and we raced this, the Hornet, and this, the Challenger, which is the slowest of my Trans Am cars. And well, I don't know if you can see it, but the Hornet has the motor in the higher center of gravity position on its side. But I actually got it into running it to be a fairly decent car. I was surprised. Not as quick as it's about maybe 4 to 4.5 tenths behind my Mustang and Cougar and the Challenger that I've got, which are both the Cougar and the Challenger are modified with 3D printed chassis, and the Mustang is a Pioneer, and I've gotten that going quite quickly. So that's the dominant car in the class, surprisingly, because it even beats the 3D printed chassis car, and that's a Sidewinder. The other ones are, I believe they're inline. Yeah, both of them are inline, as I remember. So that's good class. So anyway, it was nice to have these two running again. I haven't run the Hornet before, and I gave myself a little bit of a handicap fuel wise, and still beat him by 5 laps. So I was feeling pretty good about that. He was not having as good a day. I don't know why, but he just wasn't. And then we released. I think last week I told you about the Paganis that we've got. And normally I don't buy cars in, the same car in different liveries or anything like that. But these are such nice cars that I've got both the violet one. You can see the violet one and the white one.
These are skid electric, aren't they?
These are
Mike?
scale electric cars. The only thing that's, well, not the only thing. What's been done is three things. Slotted GR25 tires. The guide is replaced with a slotted, or not a slotting plus guide. You can see that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you look at the rear, I've cut the diffuser there and
Mhm.
separated so it wasn't, the body isn't rattling about quite as much at the back. And on the violet one, I've also done it on the front. I didn't get a chance to do it on that one. You can see where I cut it and separated it out and then glued the front and rear portions of it in there so that it has more body on it. But sort of counter, but it's too hard to separate the splitter at the front and the diffuser at the rear. It's got a piece of the body involved with it, so it's tougher to do it there. So I decided to cut the chassis up, but that's the only thing that's been done. But they run really, really nice. The motors are pretty much equal. The violet one is the quickest, and but as the white one broke in, it got quicker. I was, I think, two and a half tenths down from qualifying on Shiggy. But I got better as I went along, and I stayed with him. It was interesting racing. There was a lot of stuff. A couple times we were together, and Shiggy just whacked me out. So, and you know, it's hard to pass outside on the outside lane in my track. But it's a good fight to do that. You have to have a fuel advantage where you're down on fuel and he's up or just full up. That's one of the ways to do it. And we had a couple of instances where we had the ghost cars coming together, and man, that's really interesting. You got to sit and wait for 3 laps until you get just the right spot. And a couple times, Shiggy remarked, "Man, they were straight apart last time, and now they're back together again." So for whatever reason, they were going slower and then going faster, and stayed at that point. But it's always a challenge with the ghost cars around because they cut the corners as they will with magnets in them and stuff. So you have to be really, really gentle going around them. You have to really play your cards. And basically, I won again by staying on. It was amazing, you know, the combination of him falling off and losing 5 seconds every time he does that, and my being conservative and the way I drive gives better fuel economy. At the end of it, I was like 7 laps ahead of him, so it made a difference. But so I'll probably give myself a bigger handicap because I want him to have a chance. I don't want to send him away. You know,
I was going to ask you about your handicap process. Is there any particular kind of algorithm, or you just randomly?
Well, there's 2 ways that you can do it in PC Lap Counter. It has a number that you use for the number of segments on the controller, and you can vary that so that if you put fewer segments in that make 1 liter of fuel, it's segments per liter. So you can reduce that and make the car use up fuel faster, or you can increase it or make it use fuel less. So I try to set the fuel so that I get about 20 to 25 laps of fuel before you have to come in. So we have usually 5 pit stops, generally speaking, and maybe a splash or something like that at the end. It's never, and I try to even it out. If you got 2 tenths, I figure out how long it takes to get fuel, and then compensate that way. And it's not a perfect system, but it can get really close so that you have one guy that's really got to do qualifying laps to keep it because he's using so much fuel, or he has to really soft pedal it and use less fuel and not go fast enough, not go so fast. So it's a good. And the other way you can reduce it is or change it is to reduce or increase the size of the fuel tank.
You think?
So we start with 100 liters of fuel, which is pretty standard size. I checked in real racing, and that's about what they use, which is roughly 25 gallons plus, something like that. So I use that as a guide, and then I play around with the numbers until I get the lap counting I want for use of fuel. And interestingly enough, the fuel numbers that you use in oxygen and SSD are wildly different. Where in oxygen, the number that you use is 30,000 for segments per liter. In SSD, you're using 3,000. So there's a huge difference. 10 times the numerical value. So, the number doesn't mean anything really. It's just a number. I don't know how it works, but I do know that it works the system. And the other thing I've noticed that's different between oxygen and SSD is that when you switch them, it completely changes the brake value. So it goes from 0 to 255, where in oxygen, I believe it's oxygen. I'm not positive on that. I know it's opposite. I just don't remember which is which. But in oxygen, it's 255, which is hard braking. Whereas in SSD, Scalextric, it's the opposite direction. 0 is hard. So every time you switch platforms between the two, you have to switch the braking on all the drivers, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but
it sounds like
it is what it is.
Sounds like the Scalextric is much more granular, or allow you to fine tune it with the 3,000.
Like I said, it's just a number.
Okay.
If I can take the same cars, put one an oxygen chip and one with an SSD chip, and they'll correspond to those numbers. So as long as I know it, it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
And I can adjust up or down. Obviously, with 30,000 segments per liter, you're going to have to get a larger number of change, a larger change.
Yeah, but it lets you dial more accurately, fine tune it because of the largest.
It's really hard to do anyway, but I have a good rule of thumb with it now that I've done it for a while, and it works, and it's fun to do. If I drop, I've noticed that dropping 5 liters of fuel makes less difference than dropping a couple hundred points on the number of segments per liter. So I adjust accordingly.
Cool.
I am my own governing body in that regard. And I try to keep, it'd be easy for me to set it so I can win every time, but I'm not going to. I try to keep it even. And I know that my driving style gets better fuel mileage than Shiggy's. So I usually am a little conservative on how much I adjust, so that I don't, you want to try to keep it equal.
Yeah.
And but I've gradually reducing my my differential, or increasing my differential rather, so that I stay pretty even with him, and I have to work at it. The idea is to make you have to work hard when you're at a fuel disadvantage. and still stay on the track.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
If he stays in the track, he's right on me almost all the time. But if he, that 5-second penalty every time there's a track call kills you, because that's 3/4 of a lap per track call. So, and that's not much considering, if you would have somebody marshaling or something like that, it might take even longer. So, but it's a consistent amount. And if you know that, don't push it. But heat of the moment is what it is, red mist and all that.
Well,
anyway, that was fun. And
are your track calls automatic, or do you have to push a button?
They're automatic.
Okay. So the text one. Okay.
The difference in fueling is that with oxygen in PC lap counter, you are automatically fueled when you get into the pits. You pull into the pits and it starts fueling right away. So it's a little bit easier for the guys. Shiggy has to be reminded every week just about, because he forgets about the which is which. And with SSD, you have to press the button, the lane change button, in order to initiate the fueling. So with RCS or RCS 64, you had a choice of things that you could do, because you could do tires or change driver or fuel. So you had to go through a menu when you're in the pits, and that, you really have to pay attention. All of this stuff makes you have to do extreme concentration. It makes the racing a little bit more challenging. It's not only do you have to keep your car in control, and of course, because the fuel simulation is there, there's a 20% of your throttle is changed on a fairly regular basis, going from 80% to 100% of power. So you will get segments where you're going into a corner and you're just about ready to change that, and it'll increase the power a little bit, and you can get thrown off if you're not careful.
Yeah.
So you have to pay attention to that too. Makes you much more adaptable. So that's all I got.
Alrighty. Anybody else got any racing they want to talk about? Otherwise, the floor is open. Anybody got any questions or topics they want to?
We need Dennis to come and join us. We need someone from the Canadian NSR National to come and tell us about that race.
Oh, that would have been cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had multiple classes in that, because I saw that Ian won one class, but there were several other classes.
Two
I
classes.
think there were 2 or 3 classes. Because I remember seeing a picture of Ian's cars, and they were 3 distinct, different classes of cars.
Okay.
So.
Cool. Yeah, that would have been very interesting.
It looks like the Californians went up there and showed them how to race around their own track to some extent, because
that happens.
I saw an A final lineup, and it got Fast Eddie in it. It got Dennis in it. It got Todd. It got Ian. I think I can't remember who the others were. Anyway,
I had gosh darn it! Why am I forget his name? Oh boy, yeah. Oh well.
What club held that event? What was that? Where was it held?
I mean, it was LEV Hobbies was sponsoring it.
Right, but where was the actual track and race?
Oh,
Tracks in Edmonton. The tracks in Edmonton.
Okay. And that's for a club they have up there?
Yep.
Okay. Just curious, like, what do they usually run? Like, do they have a whole series of different cars they run, or is it?
Yep. Just, like any club, they run a bunch of different stuff.
It's mostly
I'm just kind of wondering what happened to home field advantage. Like, I mean, obviously you're getting guys that are really high tuned.
home field advantage didn't seem to be a big issue on the weekend.
Why do you say that?
Well, didn't the U.S. have home field advantage in the Ryder Cup?
Oh. Okay. I suppose.
There's a number of Quebecers got into the final as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Whew.
Oh,
Well,
well.
the golf stopped the play, didn't it?
All right. Look at this thing. I hear crickets.
Have you got a ranking with you this week, Jeremy?
Yeah, I do. Let me get it ready.
How did the meeting go Monday, Greg?
I was forced to be a spectator in last week's. It was very interesting to me. I'm not having really spent much time with that category.
What were you saying, Don?
I said, how did the Monday meeting go?
I was just testing a different conferencing thing, and it's not a suitable replacement, unfortunately.
Oh, well. We're back with the brands.
All right, what's the question, Jeremy?
All right, so this is a new fake contest going on with all these manufacturers. Their prize they're going to give you is that you get the last decade worth of all of their cars they've released. So the past 10 years worth of cars, you get it all from maybe NSR, maybe Slotted, maybe Scalextric. Every car though. So even you're thinking, oh, I get some Scalextrics, you're going to get a lot of stinkers in there. And you're going to have to get rid of them at garage sales and whatever. So if that was the ranking, which would be the most desirable prize pool for the last decade worth of every car they make?
Wow. Valuable.
Maybe. Not if you're going with like a few of them.
Wow.
Wayne, would you like to start? You like to talk?
Yeah, I'd have SCX in the don't bother category.
Don't bother. Really interesting. They put out
Agreed.
some of their CUDAs that were like really valuable ones that were only at shops.
Yeah, but
Like the
they're
black
giving me
one, the
everything for the
white
last
one.
10 years, and I'm not all
Yeah,
that impressed.
that's not a lot. What about, I would say Le Mans miniatures? Do they have a lot? I don't think they have very much, but it's
Oh.
expensive. But
Yeah, that'd be one to sell, but quite a lot of money, I would have thought.
where would you put it?
Me?
Yeah, you. I start with you.
I'm not qualified to really make a judgment because although I know of the brand, I don't know what they've made in the last 10 years.
They haven't made much.
Mm.
John, Kit, anything here stand out to you? John's like, I'm in the middle of something. I ain't got time for this.
Well, no, I'm actually watching this at the same time. So honestly, are we talking, when we talk valuable, valuable to race or valuable to resell or
Just
like
valuable to you. I mean, like I said, the prize is 10 years, a decade's worth of every car by the manufacturer, and every manufacturer is participating. So
personally,
which would be the superior choice in this?
well, I mean, superior, I would say Fly. I mean, they had some really great models. They didn't run all that well,
And they
but
had thousands of cars.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
like,
if you wanted, especially people of my vintage, and I say that, you know, if you want 70s F1 or yeah,
so this is why I limited it to a decade, because that would be, 2015 or so. Because if we go all the way back to 2003 or something,
yeah, because
then it would
2015
be,
they actually reissued some of their first cars. Because
Oh,
I
there
think
you
it was
go.
10 years. Yeah.
I
All right,
would think.
we'll leave that for now. That's fine.
I know I'm throwing the cat amongst the pigeons here, so I'm just going to watch the.
No,
the
it's okay.
fly.
I just like to get opinions. Mike Maurer, any opinion on any of these
Yeah,
brands?
I think from a value standpoint and numerical, I would go with Slotted.
Slotted as what?
The Slotted has tons of really, really good cars.
As a superior choice?
As a racer, yeah.
All right.
NSR has them, but they're not quite as nice and quite as varied as the slotted ones.
And they're not as numerous either. So you couldn't put NSR in the top band, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
Well, hang on. Isn't this about which cars would you like? Which cars would you like to choose?
Yeah, if you were going to win this surprise pool, which company's
Right.
choices
So
would you want?
just right. So if you like to race cars, that changes your opinion versus John's point of fly cars. Some guys like the looks of fly cars. If you wanted them and you wanted to resell them all, pick the guy who made the most cars. So it's a completely
Electric.
I don't really know what.
That's why I picked electric.
Where would you put Scalextric, Dewan? Up high?
Yeah, because just the plentiful number of cars and releases and the decent.
Yeah.
Dewan, you're going to have
Yeah,
to buy a new garage and put all this extra stuff in there that nobody wants, and that it's going to cost you more to ship than it is to sell, so you're not going to make any money on it.
Yeah, well,
No,
having
just sell it as a collection.
yeah, that's a collection that's some value to it.
You're going to
as
have to pay somebody like 1-800-GOT-JUNK to come take it out of there. But that's okay. Lenny, do you have an idea? Any of these other brands down here, where would you put one?
Yeah, I'd probably. Sorry. Superior, I'd probably put Slot It.
Yeah, we already got slotted up there. Pick one
I
of these
already
ones
got
down
there.
here.
Can't vote
Yeah.
for that, and I can't vote for. Sorry, guys. Polycar in above average.
Above average, they don't have that much out, do they?
I don't
Do
know.
they?
No,
I just like them.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna. All right, Courtney. Pick one of those brands on the bottom. Where would you put that as a prize? Courtney, you probably own all these brands from you probably own every car from one of the brands.
Don't own the team slots.
Yeah, team slot. You mean put that in a don't bother? I don't know. They only have a few cars, don't they?
That's one I don't own. I would say so. I would go with sideways. I would put them at the top because the last 10 years, all the Group 5 and all the GT3s, I like that.
They've been pushing out a lot of cars. Yeah, that's true.
And I think they do. No, Scale Auto does more
You got a
rally.
new one, huh, baby?
Uh-oh. Dewan's got his dog out there. And he left his microphone unmuted. Greg got it.
Look.
Greg, one of these on the bottom. You want to pick one? Where would you put it?
For my part, it would definitely be more for the racing than resale. So, I don't necessarily want numerous cars. Like if I was just gonna sell them all, I'd probably get Carrera because
Yeah.
so many.
Yeah, even if you just sold them for $20 a piece, you'd
Yeah.
rack up money.
I think I'm probably gonna go ahead and put NSR at the least above average. But only because above average, but mainly because they don't have as many as like Sideways or Slotted. My other one was gonna be Revo.
All right. We can let somebody else grab that one. Anybody else have an opinion? Luft, you're sitting there, but you never talk. I always try to get you more involved.
What happened to Ninko?
Well, the problem with Ninko is I don't keep them on that would be, but have they made anything in the last 10 years? When did they stop business?
It was a few years ago.
I mean, yeah, if I could get every Ninko classic, I'd be giggling like a schoolgirl, but it's hard to get every Ninko classic nowadays.
And those were definitely not made in the last 10 years.
Nah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
I miss the Ninko hop.
Yeah. And the different motors, every other version of the car. I'm like, oh, thank you. Now I got a short can motor in here with an adapter. And then I got a 20,000 and then it's 17,000. So, all right. Anybody else want to chime in on these last ones? Otherwise, I'll put them in order.
I would put Thunderslot at above average.
Above average
Cars, but they're good.
Well,
They're
the other
definitely-
thing too, numerically, I mean, Mr. Slot Car has really only been around for a short time compared to the others.
That's true. They've only got a few dozen cars out, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, they're pretty good cars. Yeah, I would say you could put them in average comfortably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no question about the quality. I thought volume was also a factor. Sorry.
It
It
is.
is.
Volume's
No,
also
it
a
is.
factor. They just haven't put out enough yet in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
You have to put scale auto, I think, also on the top row because think 124 scale as well as they've got a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you do make a good point, Wayne. I forgot about their 124th collection. And in fact, I forgot about Carrera's 124th
I was gonna
and
say, so
143rd and
Yep.
HO and the
Yeah.
one that's taken over digital. What's that called? The hybrid. So
I think
the
they have to
hybrid
go at least above average Carrera.
Carrera. All right.
I think that's a good choice for this category for this
Quiz.
criteria.
Yeah. Avant slot. They haven't put out a lot in the last. I mean, they started coming back a little bit, but they just haven't put out much. I would put that below average. I don't know.
I don't think you get many arguments.
Pioneer's a tough one. Pioneer puts out a lot of stuff, but then they also put out like a lot of what I think of as beanie babies, where it's just stuff they put out hoping somebody buys it for an expensive price. But I don't need 6 versions of the Dukes of Hazzard car. So
or a new Santa car every year.
yeah, or a clear car that only dealers can get. And then you're like, well, what's okay. I don't know. I guess it's average. I don't know.
There's a lot of liveries, isn't there? Think about the Legend.
Yeah, I don't know. I would think average, but I don't think that would be, I would pick that over any of these brands. But of course, if anybody wants to argue about it, feel free. Revo Slot's interesting. They have a ton of stuff out and they put a lot of stuff out within the last 10 years. But I don't know.
Above average then?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like everything was in the
Very
last.
popular here.
Everything they releases since 2015, pretty much, right? Like
I
maybe.
think they just came out like within the last 10 years. Like their
Yeah.
first releases were barely 10 years ago.
And poor SRC, as much as I like them, I wouldn't put them at don't bother. I'd put them at below average. I would take, because they put out a lot of like weird stuff that we don't get a lot of. And I would definitely take it over any of these 3 brands. But I don't know. I could be wrong. They have a chrono line, a few different things. Now on this list, anything that somebody vehemently disagrees with that shouldn't be on?
Well, I mean, everybody chose based on their own criteria. So
Yeah, of course. I just want to get a consensus and
Yeah.
screw around with it. Or are any of these better? Like right now, Fly would be the top choice if this was a prize pick. But would it really be, or would Slot it be? Like,
Oh, Slot would be definitely better than Fly.
well, I think so too. But
I'd put
Yes.
Fly down with no bothers, but
You could slide Fly to the other end of that list for me. There, it was still a good choice.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
Do you consider BRM part of Revo?
yes, you must.
go ahead. I'll let you. It's a fantasy game. If they, oh wait,
20
I've got some secret news for everybody. I didn't want to say anything, but this is a real contest. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. Greg is sponsoring with all the money he gets from this show. So reach out. If he doesn't get you your entry, reach out to him by email. Let him
The
know.
thing is, when they arrive, they're all JPEGs.
Yeah.
They'll-
Scale Electric
they'll all
ahead
be
of
yellow and
Sideways.
blue.
Scale Auto. That's pretty good.
I-
NSR, I think I would put NSR above Polycar if I was going for
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah, you can
choice.
slide Polycar down.
I might even move some of these around. I would probably put Polycar. I don't know. Right now, Polycar or Polycar, they only have like 4 cars, don't they, for actual
no.
released?
No, they've got
no,
more.
They've got all the
They've got
F1s,
all the-
Jeremy.
What's that?
They've got all the F1s, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the F1s, the historic F1s, and the regular F1s. You're right. I forgot that was Polycar and not slotted. All right.
Yeah, not just the cheap cars.
Yeah, I'm just always thinking of the former Ferraris that become
Yeah.
second-rate cars. All right. Other than that, I think everything. Any other complaints?
I'd move Fly down to don't bother.
You would put Fly on it. Don't bother.
Yeah, that's purely from a racing point of view.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. But sheer numbers, you'd get a ton of different stuff with collectability. Although, again, from 2015, I don't know. If it was 2003, sure. But all right, I'll call that list a good one, and I will post it unless anybody has any other strong disagreements they want to share. Hearing no dissent, I'll stop my share. And
I mean,
again,
this one is the most
subjective.
personal. Yeah, most subjective, because
of course
everybody will have a different criteria. It would be a completely different list if it was specifically for those who want to race versus those who want to collect versus, putting them up for show.
I tried to keep the topic in the theme of the show where everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
If I just said, what's the best car to race? I mean, we just moved Thunderslot and NSR to the top and Carrera to the bottom. We all know what's going on. It's not like we're going to have any mysteries to solve here.
Well, I suspect, to your point, Jeremy, that everyone's choice would be in proportion to the brands that they have on their shelf.
All of the above.
There's probably some guys out there who started collecting Carrera and got their first slotted and would say, you know what, I want all the slotteds now.
But I have to admit the brand
I even
that got
have an SCX, John.
Slotted doesn't make any NASCAR cars, vintage NASCAR, and that's pretty big in the South, I think.
Well, I know the parameter was 10 years, Jeremy, but I know when we bought our house and we still do have New Year's Eve gatherings, and I would set up my old Eldon slot car track downstairs, and we had an oval and a road course, and the cars that I bought first were fly cars, because the fly Ferraris and the Lolas were just like, wow, they were die-cast cars you could put on a slot car track.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They really, really broke the mold. I mean, what a difference from the blobby Eldons and that I grew up with. And that's for us anyway, got us back in.
If it wasn't for the fly magnet they used in the Vipers, I wouldn't be racing today. I wouldn't be on the show today, because that is what led to our club becoming it was all scratch builders who built brass chassis with little Radio Shack magnets in it. And once one guy brought one of those flies with the rare earth magnet, the whole landscape for the club changed. And then they had to make a separate, and then that's what eventually got me to going, oh, Scalextric's still around. Let me see what's going on in this club. So thankfully Fly got me back into it.
Well, and to your point, everyone else played catch up to the detail of their bodies, including Scalextrics.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And that
I've got a lot of flies, but that's basically all you could get. It was halfway raceable when it all started again, back in the early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah, and never mind just to get something that looks half decent going around a track, I mean,
They won't Scalextric up, that's for sure.
No. Well, to your point, they still had the Tupperware stuff available. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they did burp. They did burp. Yeah.
And to some extent, the early Ninkos were like that as well.
Yeah. And then again, when they brought out their classic line, oh my gosh, that was a revelation. Everyone loved them. Yeah.
Well, the first one I bought when I got back into it was the Ninko Calibra. I thought, with the stick-on decals. So
yeah, when I
still got it
I gave away about a little under a dozen sets to just people just trying to get them involved in it, and I gave each one of them like 4 flies, just because the way it would look and the way they would drive with the magnets and everything. So it's a great starter set and get people involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
So for my list for next week, I think I do need to add Ninko, maybe Monogram, Revell. I don't know if you count that the same. I'm trying to think of companies from the past, since 2000 that have kind of come and gone.
MRRC.
RI slot.
Put it in the chat and I'll try to find it. I'll put that in the chat. MRRC, and then didn't they get bought by Monogram, or Monogram bought them or something? I don't know.
No, John MRRC they're based in an island off the coast of the UK, but they licensed they either licensed some of the molds or had some production molds from Monogram run some stuff for them, because they reissued some Monogram cars, the 904, the Porsche 904, the Cooper Ford, Chaparral, just going off the top of my head, and then they
Did so they just bought Didn't
They
them
bought the
double
tooling?
some molds from Monogram?
Well, no, well, actually, they didn't own the tooling. They actually, because those molds
Those
were
are
massive.
huge things, right? In
Yeah,
Chicago
yeah.
or
So
something?
they were actually run at that time out of Morton Grove, Illinois.
Morton Grove, okay.
Now those molds a lot of them are actually owned by Atlantis. So you know how Atlantis is slowly releasing 132nd scale models. The deal with Atlantis was that they had to buy all those molds, and a lot of them, from what I understand, were mislabeled. So they were sitting on a gold mine. They didn't know it, and they opened it up one up, and then they realized they had all the Snoopy license stuff from Mattel and Monogram. And that was a goal. That's what's making them a ton of money right now. That's why they're so behind on their schedule. Like I think the next car they're going to release it in 132nd scale is going to be the old Revell multi-piece Buick. But yeah, they're sitting on a gold mine. And yeah, those things weigh like thousands of pounds. You have to lift them with cranes, for crying out loud. By the way, if anyone's really interested in this stuff, watch Max's models. Max is in touch. He keeps in constant touch with those Atlantis guys because they've not only got car models, but they've got, tanks and airplanes and, really, really odd stuff.
Science fiction stuff.
Yeah. In fact, you're right. There was science fiction stuff that was actually went all the way to production and then never got released, which is really kind of interesting.
Atlantis is a model company, or are they made?
Yeah, based out of New York. They're 100% American. These guys basically did this literally as a hobby. You think our hobby is expensive? They would buy these molds and shoot out model kits just for fun, because I think they have an industrial injection plant, and they sort of did this on the side, and now their side business is actually doing very, very well.
I'll take a look at it.
Bring out some of these old. I can't remember. I don't recall who made them to begin with, but they were space. I call them space exploration models. They were early concept. They were done from early concept paintings by people like Chesley Bonestell and people like that who did stuff for NASA. They say, hey, what would a space plane look like? And he would do this intricate, beautiful painting of it.
Yeah, to your point, John, a lot of that. Yeah, a lot of. Yeah, I mean, to your point
of those. And,
yeah,
but and I think Atlantis is selling some of those. I've seen them at Ollie's. Anyway.
And plus, don't forget the re-release of the AMT 132nd scale bodies, and even the old artwork talks about how you can use the bodies for a slot car.
Yep.
Just go on the Atlantis website, and they've got all kinds of models that they've got for sale there.
Yeah, I was just thinking for 132nd scale racing with the tariffs right now, might be a good time for the strike while the iron's hot. They can get some of these out, but the tooling, ramping that whole up is going to be a pain, I bet.
Yeah, and so far, most of the stuff that Atlantis has released is like old cars, like 50s Buicks and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, the Buick isn't quite out yet. That's the next one, but they did the Cadillac.
50s, whatever. There's no race cars per se past 60 that they've released so far.
Well, yeah, but they also released the 80s Camaro, which was the IROCs were based on those. There was a Nova. What the heck else? I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, there's lots of neat stuff you can scratch build and have some fun with.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, if you're looking for Lola T70s and stuff like that, you're not going to find. They're not doing that.
No, and to your point, Chris, the Lola T70 that Monogram released as a slot, apparently those molds are not in great shape.
No.
Yeah.
Bummer.
What you working on, Courtney?
Is Garth on?
No,
Yeah.
he left.
Well, of course, I've been working on this particular GT3 car. This is the sideways Fantasy One car. what's this, the 488? Is that right?
No,
What's this
296.
one?
296.
No, this is the 296, right?
From Avant.
No, this one's from Sideways as well.
Oh,
Anyhow, I was working on. I've been. I did 6 different deals with Garth's pod, and it's okay. It's just not. I think it'll work really well on a slower proxy car, but on a fast GT3 car, I don't think it's got the. It doesn't. It's not going to work. I mean, the best I got one was a 6.1 on my track, and I did 3 different configurations with this little sponges in the suspension, and then I just put this back together just now and tested it, and it went a 598, which is that's legitimate GT3 proxy car times. So and these are old tires, but it was a fair back-to-back test, and so that's what I'm working on right now. And then of course this is the newest. This is the Avant slot. Boom. Right. And then this is the Sideways. I haven't put it together yet because it needs a little more love, but I'm a Benetton fan. But this has got Yona's slot pod on it. And so I just was kind of tweaking that. And of course, I've got Garth's guide flag on it, and the chassis has been flattened. When you saw me earlier, I was gluing front and rear tires for it, just getting ready to get it prepped up and raceable. And I'm working on selling houses. So if you need any houses, and one of the ladies, the couples, their grandson collected baseball bats. So if anybody needs any baseball bats from the late 90s to the 2020s, I've got you. I've got 20 Louisville Slugger TPX bats, but the new certification is BOSA, and these are all BCSA. So sidebar for Courtney's side hustle is baseball bats.
Kind of what I spoke about earlier is if you get the wrong collection for our contest and you're stuck with a bunch of stuff, Courtney is now stuck with a bunch of baseball bats that nobody wants. So call him now.
Just remember, Courtney, always hit label up. Label up.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping that was the day somebody would road rage on me and I would crack the trunk with 1,400 baseball bats. I am not going to hit you one time with each bat. You tell me which one hurts the most.
If you're in Texas, you could just go hog hunting with them.
Yeah, I like shooting stuff though. So,
Courtney, do you have a lathe? Because you could make some corked bats and sell them as corked bats.
But they have the wrong label. These are all aluminum. Think all aluminum.
Bummer.
School, post-play school. But the he's got a half a dozen adult aluminum bats. And if anybody cares, the Bat Bros on YouTube, some of these bats hit 100 feet further than the current bats. Thus, they're outlawed.
Wow.
So, but sidebar on slot car racing, I hadn't been to the commercial track in a while. And I went over there last Friday and got a win and a third. Of course, all those guys are like, because they're all big dogs until I show up. So anyhow, fun. So I'll do like
Courtney's here.
Hey,
What were you
John,
racing, Courtney?
we were racing JK LMP box class. So that's the C21 chassis. And then we just put together a spec GTP with the C43 and I think it's a Hawk 9 ball bearing motor. It's really smooth, and it's an 1136 gear, maybe spec gear.
Yep.
They're real smooth, and they are I actually find it kind of hard to drive because you have to push them all the time. Spec racing is, you got to be on the button. So
Yeah. Many of the guys running, do you have a brushless class?
you know what? We just pitched it to everybody, and he ordered some Mid-America boards in, and he's got 5 or 6 motors. He's got a car set up. So we're talking about making it a DTM class. I don't know if it'll happen this year, probably first of the year.
Right. Okay.
But to say all that, while I was there, I put a Massetti air chassis together with the heavy pans, like you and I discussed many moons ago for the flat track, and we run a Rockthorn Raptor in that, and with an LMP body and spec gear. And Paul Walcott, Pablo, you guys know him as, he's my guy. I'm just the driver monkey, but I actually built that Massetti myself, and it was really fast. I didn't tune on it at all, and I was just a couple tenths off fast LMP times. So
Right.
I'm sure part of it is the driver. I'm just, like me and Dewan.
Well, if you haven't been out to the track in a while, and all the little things add up.
Yes, they did.
On a scale of 1 to 100, how legal was your cars?
Oh, legal is
Yeah.
legal 0 or 100?
100.
100% legal.
100% legal? Gotcha. Okay. Just making
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, no, that's weekly racing. You've got lots of clearance. When we go to a Flexi Challenge race, yeah, man, I'm saucing the tires so they balloon up for tech. And I just pray that I'm the last guy qualifying so they come back down.
Yeah, but hold on. When you spell legal, you use 2 E's, and it has to deal with like the Southern rules, right?
Right. That's right. It's good times.
All right,
Yeah,
what
but
you
I
got?
can race against Merriman and some of those guys, and they're world class fast. Sorry, Greg.
I was gonna just, and then he's got his hand up. I was giving him a chance.
Yeah. Let's give us a second. Just getting back to slot cars. We ran a race on Tuesday night. Where are we going? Let's get this out of the way. We ran a race for our handicap class on the 36-minute 1-minute race, 36-minute 1-car race, rather than 3 separate classes, and threw up some interesting results. Outright, of course, Andrew won it, of course, at a canter. He won it by 20 laps over the 36 minutes. We used modern GT cars this time. And then myself, Andrew Green, picked up third. That was a good result for him. Andrew's normally sort of down around here, but he drove a very consistent race over the night and managed to pick up third place with Callum Wright on his clacker. There's the difference in the outright there. Then Jason, who had some problems with his car. Norm, another one having problems with his car. Jeff was having problems with his car. And Claude, our perennial, he holds us all up from the bottom. But in the handicap section, Claude actually won it. It goes to show how much he's improved over the last few months since we raced modern GT last. So he won that, and then Callum got second overall. We were over here. There's the handicap scores here. That was their best score for the last 12-minute races we ran. Last 3 of them we ran, but they get bonus laps. Well, we work out the lap difference between the fastest, who was Andrew, and then to the slowest, which was Claude. So he had 32 laps over 12 minutes. Multiply it by 3, he got 96 laps bonus. It gets added to his score at the end of the race. So there's the handicaps there. I think it worked pretty well. Mind you, Claude had like I said, a big improvement. He's got an Aston Martin ASV, whatever you call them, and it's going quite well. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in. Just pad it out a little bit. So yeah, so I'll stop the share there. I didn't get any pictures of the podiums, unfortunately. Everybody buggered off before I finished calculating everything. So that's how much they care. There you go. I had a points round earlier, but I forgot like the previous week I had a points round, but I forgot to prep that one. So I'll save it for next time I'm on.
Yep.
It's 10 o'clock now.
Time for bed. Time for coffee.
Yeah, 10 a.m. this morning. Yeah. It's almost time for 11s. Another hour.
What about second breakfast? All right. Anybody else got anything they want to talk about? Stock cars?
Now you're showing your bloody pommy heritage, Lenny.
Well, I married a pom, mate. My missus is a £10 tourist.
Ah, that'd be right.
Yeah.
I suppose you have scones and tea for at afternoon too. High tea.
Oh, sometimes.
Greg,
I've
you got
been trying to
Facebook.
get her to do the damper and belly tea, but she's not into that.
Greg, you got Facebook that you could screen share?
Yeah. What do you want me to look up?
Well, it saves me holding up my phone for people to look at a crappy little video. A 23-second video that I came across by accident this week. I want you to look on Facebook for Suzuka Duel. D-U-L-E. D-E-U-L.
D
Duel.
DUEL.
DUAL.
you
D-U-E-L. D-U-E-L.
Duel.
they're
Okay.
dueling.
Dueling. It's a dueling roller coaster. And it's a slot car.
Oh, that might
That's
be.
exactly how I drive too.
Yeah, I think I found it. Hold on.
While you find it, I'll tell you the premise. It's a roller coaster, single-seater vehicles where you have a steering wheel ahead of yourself, and the object of the game is to beat your opposition by doing better drifting. And if you drift incorrectly, the coaster will spin 180 degrees around. That's the one. I saw that and I thought that looks amazing. And apparently, I've just researched it just now, and it's been open since 2018. But that's a 23-second long video.
Let's watch it.
And that guy's just spun. But look at that. That looks like immense fun.
It even makes screeching sounds.
It's making screeching sounds as you spin, yeah, and as you drift. And I just thought this is like full-scale slot car racing, this. And I thought you guys might just like to see it because it's only that short clip.
That's hilarious. Where is this?
It's at Suzuka Circuit in
Oh,
Japan.
it's at Suzuka. Wow.
It's at Suzuka.
Like an amusement park at Suzuka.
Yeah. Which I knew existed because you can, when you watch the Grand Prix coverage, you can see, obviously there's the Ferris wheel that we're all familiar with that's over the chicane before start finish. But there's a whole theme park there, and this is in there.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool.
It made me recall the Ford exhibit at that World Fair. That
Yeah,
back
it was.
in the 60s.
I think it was a 64 World's Fair. Yeah.
Yeah. That made me. It had echoes of that done in done in the 20th. 21st
And you
century.
notice how on those cars you just showed there were nothing you could steal from them either, because that's what they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a quick one, I thought might be of interest.
Down, it's gonna disappear.
Actually, if you could combine that with real slot cars, that would be amazing. That'd be like sort of a combination of the AMR. Remember the AMR sort of steering slot car thing? Yeah.
Oh well, the only one I remember is the Scalextric U-Steer, which was just shifted the guide left and right.
Right. No, there was a commercial application where you had an accelerator and a steering wheel, and you were supposed to steer.
Yes, the American Raceways ones. Yes.
Yeah, the AMR. Yeah.
Only pictures. Yes.
There's a
Oh,
video
yeah.
actually. It's actually, I think it's a Pathé. It's a British Pathé in color.
Is that the
Yeah.
one with Sterling Moss driving, among others?
No, this was a commercial. They tried to replicate driving
Yeah,
with a stock car
yeah,
set. Yeah.
yeah.
No, the one with Sterling Moss is great. He's got like basically an on-off button. Yeah, it's
Oh, okay, yeah, that's his home race. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Doorbell switch, was it not?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it was like an on-off thing. Yeah. And much like the Lotus that he crashed in, it didn't have brakes.
I had a typical question that goes back a little while. As I mentioned, I'm very much into more or less dioramas and things that were personal. And I know that like 3A, 3D, they do a lot of custom um, non-race cars. And I wonder if there's another updated list of people to reach out to get some. I'm looking for like a 63 four-door Impala. I found 63 two-doors, but 63 four-door Impala and some other little non-racing types of vehicles. Is
There's
there
a
any updated?
Juan, there's a YouTube, not YouTube, eBay seller. I'm trying to think of his name is Entz, ENTZ, I believe. And he said, I believe it's him. He produces quite a few, it's what I would call odd, things like
Yeah,
that. Whether he does a 62 or 63 four-door Chevy, I don't know.
close enough.
Uh, he does produce some four-door models, different stuff. I think some Renault, some French cars, and some other odd things.
What country he's out of? Because a lot of people that are not out of the
US,
states, they don't.
he's from Kansas or someplace
Okay,
like
okay.
that.
Yeah, a lot of people that are
He's on
they don't
eBay.
appreciate the
I'll see
vintage
if I can
U.S. cars.
see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think his thing is I believe he's a motorcycle guy, and he is a motorcycle drag racer. I think he's been a champion, like with a 4-cylinder Kawasaki, big bore Kawasaki or something like that. Those blown drag bikes. Anyway, how he got into this business, I'm not sure. But there's some little indicators that seem to point toward that to me. I recall a guy named Entz drag racing motorcycles.
eBay.
Back.
And you said on eBay, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Search for resin body, 132nd resin body. I think he does some 124ths too. And it seems like one of his taglines is ABS like printing or ABS like print. So the print is supposedly much closer to what you would get with an injection molded or ABS plastic molded stuff. I think I bought a couple from them, and they're pretty good.
What do you guys
Thank you.
think of the Carrera hybrid system? Have you seen anything on it?
Well, it's not slot cars, so let's let Jeremy go first.
I was going to talk about Carrera Hybrid. Weird coincidence. No,
Seriously?
no. I found this on one of the forums and I thought it was really interesting. Let me share this real quick. So somebody bought a scale electric car, a new one, and was going to take the knurled wheel off of it.
Yeah.
And this is the axle that was in there that they couldn't get out. It was like barbed in there. Now later, Simon at Scale Electric replied that he wasn't aware of that or something. But I just found this kind of funny because I've always complained about their knurled axles, but I guess I shouldn't be because it can always be worse. That's amazing. Like, that thing's not coming out of there.
That's not even threaded. That's just like you say.
No.
It's a
It's
bar.
a barb.
The wheel was spinning on that. It would hold it from coming off, but it wouldn't drive.
Right.
It'd be good for front wheels.
Yeah.
Not so much for back wheels.
I guess somebody at the factory is what he said. Somebody may have made their own initiative to do this, but then it just seems weird. Like your quality control is like just doing stuff on their own.
Right.
I don't know.
Maybe-
I feel well, I feel bad for Scale Electric. I want them to succeed, but they just little things like this keep making me think maybe they won't succeed. I don't know.
Maybe
try
Electric complained about their wheels coming off the axles, and these guys said, "We'll fix that."
We will fix that.
Those ain't coming off easy, that's for sure.
Yeah. Mike,
Uh,
go
they-
ahead.
What's that?
Want to talk
You had a
about
question about hybrid?
Yeah,
It's
I just
available
wondered
in the
if
US
anybody
now.
had seen anything on them or anything like that.
I
I
think
mean,
I'll
other
pick up
than-
a set for Christmas, but I don't know. I'm not going right out right now.
I'm just waiting for Charles R. on Slot Forum to finally come to the conclusion that no, in fact, he doesn't like Carrera Hybrid.
Why was he the
He was the guy that started with Carrera Digital, and then switched to Carrera Analog, and then switched to Polycar Analog, and basically kept changing his layout and the cars. He would buy a car, drive it, decide no, that's not the kind of car he wanted, and then sell it, and then buy a different car, and then basically he was going through all these changes and finally realized that all along he's been trying to replicate the nostalgic feeling he had as a youth racing on the bigger tracks. No amount of telling him, hey, go find a bigger track. They still do that stuff.
Yeah.
He just wants to do it in his basement. But he finally got to the point where he felt that he had achieved his goal of, getting into the rhythm of just driving a car around a fast track, and he loved it. And then he saw Carrera Hybrid, and fell for the marketing hype, and sold all of his Polycar and cars, getting rid of all of his slot car stuff, and bought Carrera Hybrid. And now it's Carrera Hybrid on his table that used to have slot car tracks. And he thinks that the challenge of getting the perfect line with a minuscule little car, RC car, will give him whatever he's looking for now. I don't know. I sincerely doubt that his internal desire for that nostalgic feeling is suddenly gone. So I feel like eventually he's going to say, this was fun. It's great for what it is, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to try something else now.
There are off-brand, very similar products at the same scale that they look almost identical in the way they function, but they don't come with the track. And
Well,
they don't. You can buy the cars and transmitters,
yeah,
as a standalone unit that look so similar, even down to the way that the socket they use for the charging cable on the car. It's this the Carrera could literally pick those up and adapt them to suit their or maybe even the user could.
No.
Not without the software, and you have to have room for all the chips
I mean,
they're
the only
using in
thing
there.
the only useful thing they'd be picking up is the body shell, and it would still require,
No, and the chassis, the motor, the wheels and tires, they all look the same. The car looks the same. I didn't go into it in much detail, but one night Jeremy and I were throwing things back and forth at one another, video clips and YouTube bits and bobs and one thing and another.
Well, were the cars you're talking about designed to go on a special track? They just didn't come with it?
I wasn't sure because I saw the car and transmitter as a package, and I thought to myself, is that aimed at being aftermarket for a system that comes in a box, much like the Carrera, and I didn't go far enough to find out whether or not they made a track for it. But this didn't come with a track.
You are aware of Mini Z, right?
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
and this thing you're talking about was not that.
No, it was identical in size and it was identical. The wheels and everything looked the same. The motor size, everything looked the same as the Carrera cars.
I did find out with the hybrid system, you can just buy the car and pair it to the app on your phone. Like I already put the app on just to play with it. I don't have any cars yet, but you can just drive it around your living room if you want. You just don't get the benefit of guided driving from the computer.
Yeah, that the main difference between hybrid and anything that isn't designed to go on a special track is that it has the electronics and hardware to read the encoded information in the track so that it knows where it is on the track all the time. So any car that's not specifically designed to go on that kind of track is just a little RC car. Hybrid is just a little RC car with the electronics to help keep it on the track.
Yes.
Just like Anki Overdrive was. The only difference between this and Anki Overdrive is the software.
Yeah.
And the car. Obviously the cars look
like
real one-to-one cars instead of space age cars.
Anki was space age cars, yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's what they
otherwise, other than the bodies being more realistic cars and the software, they're the same.
I like the idea you can just buy the car, put the app on, and then drive it on your actual slot car track. I mean, it's going to be able to go around now. So you can get an idea if this is something I could even do. Because some people will never be able to get used to the joystick, no matter what they'll always want the round turn thing or whatever.
Yeah, that was my main issue with Anki, and you could put Anki cars on a slot car track too and just drive them around like that. But the main issue I had with Anki was the controls, because you're basically doing it on your phone with no tactile feedback. You're just sliding your thumbs around for acceleration and steering and stuff. So you'd have to, and Charles showed his basically a gaming style controller handle that the phone, app,
like that
or whatever like that, that's what you use to control the car.
And you get your thumb buttons left and right, and you drive, and you.
Yeah, that would be easier because it'd be like actually driving a video game car.
It'd be like playing Mario Kart, but you'd have to be, under 70 and played Mario Kart before. Otherwise, you'd want the old style.
Yeah.
Knob. But I'm sure if there's demand, somebody will make an old style knob. I would think if it picks up, but who knows?
Picks up, yeah. Anki was popular for a little while, but not popular enough for third-party controllers to come in.
And this is nothing new. I mean, remember in the 60s, AMT tried that turnpike system that the track took about a day to set up. And it had a little cartridge underneath, and the cars would do 360s and stuff. And so, everybody's always going to try something a little new.
Yeah, in the 80s, there was Worlds of Wonder, the laser tag people apparently did a steer by wire. It was the cars were radio controlled basically, but the layout, the track had positive wire on the inside and negative wire on the outside, or vice versa. And basically the car was able to use the electric field that those are generating, or magnetic field or whatever, to know where it is on the track. So the electronics in the car would detect the various powers flowing through those, or whatever happened through the air between the wires to stay on the track. And it was a big, heavy rubber track thing. And the cars were trying to be realistic. They were Group C. They were clearly Group C style cars. I actually got a set, but it wasn't functional, so I never got to play with it. But yeah, that kind of thing's been around. But of course, that was purely RC. There's no app or virtual anything like Anki has.
And let's not forget the wonderful TCR system. Remember the Total Control Racing?
HO, I remember wanting that really bad.
I think the difference here is like the hybrid is for people that are interested in RC, or maybe the RC guys you're trying to get interested in slot car. Like there's a lot of crossover there. At least I know a lot of the guys in our club came from RC, where they got either priced out or just burnt out or whatever, and came and they race with us. And then there's other guys in our club that also race RC still. So this might be a way to kind of bridge that gap and get Like if I could take this to our RC, we have an RC store in town where they have an indoor track and race, but I'm just not interested in it. But if they ever did open something like that with a smaller Carrera hybrid track, I would be interested and I would go. And then I would cross pollinate them and say, hey, we're doing this. You guys might be interested. That's what I think the main benefit, if it does catch on. I mean, who
Yeah.
knows?
I think the main thing that brings it to our attention is because it's being released and marketed by what is essentially a slot car manufacturer. Because it's just RC cars by a slot car manufacturer.
They do a lot of RC. They're known for RC in other countries.
Are they Carrera?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought they were an RC company with toy line.
Some people would say that, yeah.
Mhm.
See,
Yeah,
I would
they
say
had
that about Ninko.
Yeah,
I would
Ninko's
say
still in business, aren't they, for their RC stuff? They're just not in.
You see, yeah, it's not a brand that I don't know if it still exists. It's not a brand that was new to me when I heard about it in slot car, because they've done RC stuff that I'd seen. Not that it was competitive and race worthy, but it was toy level.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, John?
Yeah, I was going to say about Carrera. They used their licensing for Super Mario
Yeah.
to promote a whole line of RC cars. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they'd have made those hybrids into Mario Karts. We'd had something there because then your phone would alert you when you get hit by a shell or something. Or you're behind somebody and you push a button and it would register and they'd fly off, the steering would go out. That'd be something.
Imagine the licensing to connect it with
Oh my
Nintendo.
God, that would be expensive.
I think one of the thing I would have to play with it, obviously, to be a fair assessment. But one of the things that may or may not pose a barrier to what you're suggesting, Jeremy, is that uh, you have to play their little video game component on their app in order to unlock aspects of the driving the real car, like being able to tune the car's performance.
Oh, I
You'd
think
have
that's in the career mode, right?
something like that.
Right.
Charles was mentioning it. He even showed a screen capture of where you can adjust the car's performance with various things like, motors and brakes and whatnot. But you only have access to that stuff when you play the video game stuff, when
Yeah.
you go through that process.
I think there's different. You can do the career mode where you like drive on the track and try to set better times and it
Mhm.
unlocks stuff. But I think there's a competitive mode like they used at the German championship where everybody starts evenly. And like your car will have like an F1 style turbo or whatever when they push the button on F1 and you get a boost around somebody, they have stuff like that. Here's where I think it's kind of interesting. This probably never will happen, but let's just say everybody in the club had one of the kits, the basic kits. If we all set the track up the same way in the software, it knows how your track is set up. And we race and we set our best times. We can then compete against each other because Greg's time and my time will now be comparable because we have the same track. That's just one of the kind of weird things I thought would be fun is that you could do a remote race session then with people and you don't have to be in the same building at the same time for it.
Well, that has been done with slot cars, hasn't it?
Not
Yeah.
to very well, but I think it has been done.
Yeah,
Sort of
not
like an autocross.
But on your phone, you see the live times and you're trying to beat Greg and you'll see where he was in the corner where you were. So it has potential, but I just don't know if it has the interest because everybody in our hobby I've never met anybody under 40 in our hobby, but I'm sure they're out there, but I just never have met any. We're
Well, what
getting
about
old,
Yona? Yona is under 40. Hold
but
on,
I've
hold
never
on.
met Yona. I mean, I've seen him online.
Or at least it hasn't been brought into it by their uncle or parent or
Yeah.
grandparent.
Are you insinuating Yona is AI? Come on.
He could be for all we know.
Artificial intelligence, Yona. Yeah, it's not as black and white as you think,
But my point here being is that Yona is probably the youngest guy we've had on the chat, but I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
remember very many others that are like under 20.
I was gonna say he's a teenager.
Right.
Was.
Maybe it's just I don't know. I just want to see the sport grow, but I don't know if this helps it or not.
I don't think there's gonna be that much crossover from hybrid to slot cars.
No.
Just like there
No.
wasn't when Anki Overdrive was the fad. And I mean, there's plenty of tiny little RC cars that people can get, like Mini Z, and they're not coming over to slot cars.
Well, you see, slot cars always been on the classic toy list. It's been a top 10 Christmas purchase for forever, for
In the
decades.
UK. Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
anybody have Mini Z in their area that a club that races? I've never seen a Mini Z in person either, though.
There's probably one in my area because it's the friggin' Seattle Metro, but I haven't looked for one. So
I've seen them in Japan, like on videos and stuff, but I've never seen anybody here do it.
It's like Tamiya Mini 4-wheel drive. We all know it exists and we see clips of videos and whatnot. Never seen one. Never ever seen one.
Well, Wayne, the
Interesting.
top 10 slot cars would be in the UK, not the US. I can tell you that.
No, I mean, just what I meant was to buy slot cars as a Christmas gift.
Yes, in the UK.
Would it not be on the top 10 list for the US?
Not at all.
oh God, no.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
I I had my garage open and was showing people and kids. They had no idea what it was. It's like it doesn't even register unless you're
Really?
50 years old.
Yeah, I think sandwiches are probably higher on the list. Yeah, for Christmas gifts.
What
Dear
are
Santa.
what are the classic
Clothes.
what are the classic Christmas toys?
In the
In the
UK.
UK.
Assault rifles? Oh, sorry.
Money.
In the 70s, maybe like was the last time it was probably
Yeah.
you could buy the
Yeah.
AFX slot car tracks in the 70s, and that was the last time I remember seeing them in like the JCPenney catalog, and then
Well,
they just
it's not that
disappeared.
they don't. It's not that they don't sell. Like you talk to Dave Kennedy, and he always says that Carrera's bread and butter is the Carrera Go, and they sell like hotcakes in the States. They're just still not well known enough to crack the top 10, gifting things that come around all the time. They sell, right? Plenty of sets sell during Christmas. That's where all companies get their main income is during Christmas, even from the States.
But think about, you said they sell during Christmas, so those are not kids buying them. Those are dads like me and you buying
Yep.
them. Hey, kid, I remember this. I'm gonna get him one. That's what I did. I bought a kid we babysit. I bought him a Carrera Go set.
Yep,
See,
exactly.
Jeremy, full circle, back to your lump of crack.
Just on the Mini Z over here, mainly the eastern states, they buy the Mini Z bodies and convert them into slot cars.
Yeah,
Put Tamiya chassis under them.
yep. And Kyosho did make their 143rd D slot cars that
Yeah.
I heard that the
Yeah,
body.
these are the 128 scale ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so our homework for next week is everybody go out and buy a hybrid, Carrera hybrid, and we'll see who sets the track time record.
I'll dig out
Tony,
my
buy 2 of them.
and just lie.
No.
All right. Yeah, you all have your homework, and the stream is ending, so everybody wave bye until the stream
All right.
is up. And YouTube
I'm off
says,
to the Nationals now. See ya.
yeah.
Yeah.